say a few matches. I mean, the tennis player has dreams. They always want to win Grand Slam tournaments. When I won my first Grand Slam tournament was 1974 in Paris, French Open. That's what you strive for. That's what you work hard for, to try to win a Grand Slam. And for me to win a Grand Slam was like fantastic. The number two was when I won Wimbledon for the first time, 1976, when I beat Elina Stas in the final. When the tournament started, no one was expecting for me to win the whole championship. I went through the championship without losing a set, beating Ila in the final. And that was like a dream come true. Here I win in Wimbledon, as for me is the biggest tournament in the world. And I know so many players want to win Wimbledon. And then one more, I have to say 1980s match against McEnroe in Wimbledon. That 5-set match, who had every single thing. I think that was the most satisfying thing when I won that match, and it was probably the most satisfying last point I played in a tennis tournament when I won. That's could mean a lot of things, but greatness means that, for instance, the player can be able to play on any kind of surface. He has not any really weaknesses on the court when he played on different surfaces. He's moving well. He's very determined. He's focusing. He's very concentrating. He is playing a point like it's supposed to be a match point, every point. And he hates to lose and love to win. My father was a pretty good table tennis player, and when I was 8 years old, he played a local tournament in my hometown in Södertälje. It was like 10 miles south from Stockholm, and he played the tournament. He won the tournament, and he received a lot of different prizes. So he picked a lot of prizes, and my father was looking over at me, and I was begging him to pick a tennis racket, who was one of the prizes. So the last prize, he picked the tennis racket. The next day, I was up at my home courts. I was living very close to 2 clay courts. The next day, I was home, taking some of my friends. They were playing tennis, so we went up and we played. And from the first point on, I loved this game. So that's how I got into tennis. And then every day I was playing with friends. But from the beginning, I loved the sport. My father won the tennis racket, and I played with my friends. The racket was a little bit too heavy for me, so I picked up the racket. And I played 2 hands on my backhand and 2 hands on my forehand, and it was very heavy. And I just took the racket. It felt good for me, but that was not really the way you're supposed to hold a tennis racket. But I didn't really care. It felt good for me, so I started to play with a lot of topspin, and I think I was probably one of the first guys to play with that kind of a style, with the topspin. But it felt good for me. A lot of the people at my club in Södertälje, they say that, I mean, you have to change your style, you have to change your grip, because you're not supposed to play that. Because they always, during that time, they have a kind of a book, tennis book, how you're supposed to play. But I didn't care about that. This feels good for me. I'm going to continue to play like this and see what's going to happen. 12 years old, I had an unbelievable bad temper on the court. I mean, I was throwing rackets, swearing, cheating, name it. I mean, I was the worst. So the people at my tennis club in Södertälje, they had a meeting with my parents, and they said, listen, your son is terrible. He's embarrassing for not only for our club, but for tennis in general. So they decided decided to suspend me for 6 months from tennis. So I could not play tennis for 6 months. I was very, very sad, disappointed, because that was the only thing I wanted to do. So my parents locked the rackets in the closet. So then during that time I was playing a lot of ice hockey. But when I came back to tennis after 6 months, I never opened my mouth because I did not want this to happen again. I think probably the best 3 years I had there, like you feel like you're unbeaten. I mean, you play and you play with so much confidence, and I played really well. First time was 78. I played French Open. I won that, and then I came to Wimbledon to defend my title at Wimbledon, and I won at Wimbledon same year. And I did that 78, 79, and 80. But it's just a matter of, first of all, it's two completely different surfaces, clay and grass. But I think it's if you know how to play on all kinds of surfaces, and grass is a very special surface. In the beginning of my career, I had a little bit problem to play or get used to the grass courts. But I learned how to play my game on the grass. And of course, you have to improve few things in your game, like volley or serve or whatever. But I did that, and every time I won the French Open, going to the Wimbledon grass, I was looking forward to it because I knew that I can play well on it, and I already proved that I can play well on it. And so to win both at the same year, it is very difficult. I did it 3 times, and some other players did it 1 time or 2 times, but not too many players has won the French and Wimbledon the same year. So that's a great effort, and of course I'm very satisfied to do that. Preparation-wise, going into US Open, I did everything possible right. You should do. I felt strong. I was ready for the tournament, and going to the final 4 times, playing good tennis. But you need a little bit luck. Need to win those 1 or 2 points. I didn't do that, but still playing in Flushing was a great thing. I like the atmosphere, especially playing McEnroe Connors at US Open. I think the crowds was like 50-50 when I played. Half wanted me to win, half wanted John or Jimmy to win. But that was a great experience. And if looking back at US Open, it's nothing really I regret regarding preparation coming in. The only thing I regret that I never won the Open inside. But during that time, or during the time I had my coach Lennart Bergelin, when we came back to the hotel, I had to let all my feelings out, all my emotion out. So he got all the shit, if I have to say that. But Lennart, he knew that. So I could say anything, and Lennart was just looking at me like this, and he was just swallowing everything. Yes, I agree with you. And then after like 20-25 minutes or half an hour, when I got all the emotion out, he always say, are you finished now? So we can go and eat? And then I said to Lennart, yes, we finished now. Then I felt much better. But he had to take everything when we came back to the hotel. Because if I play a long match, 5-set match, of course you have emotion and you want to show something. But I didn't do that. I kept everything inside when I was playing. So someone had to get it, and Lennart, he was the man. I've been playing a lot of matches, a lot of tournaments. In general, I'm very proud what I did in tennis. But one achievement, like I think everybody remember, is the match with John in the Wimbledon final 1980. I think that match had pretty much everything. I was winning, and then I was losing, and then I ended up winning. Everybody remember that unbelievable tiebreak we played. I mean, that was probably the first long tiebreak, and especially to play that in the Wimbledon final was something extra. And I think my idol was Rod Laver, because during that time he won every single thing. He was the #1 player in the world. He won the Grand Slam, the last Grand Slam, 69. I liked the way he played on the court. I liked the way he behaved. He was very focused, very concentrating. He didn't say too many words if he played bad or missed points or anything like this. So that was kind of a guy I admire a lot, even if we had completed two different games. I mean, he was a left-handed and he played different kind of game to me, but that was a guy I always looked up to. Intention, but I pretty much grew up in Sweden on the clay courts and play a lot from the backcourt. Even in the winter time, because of the climate in Sweden, we had a lot of indoor courts too. So you could say I play 6 months outdoors, 6 months indoors, but I always felt more comfortable playing from the back, and that's how I learned to play my tennis. But then eventually later, you know, when you're starting to play on the faster surface like indoors or grass or hard courts or whatever, you have to improve to be more aggressive, to improve your serve and volley, and I slowly did that. But basically I felt very, very comfortable on the backcourt. So even all those years I played, the intention was that I would start maybe more to play on the backcourt and then start to be more aggressive. Even if you can see pictures and matches and finals I played at Wimbledon's grass, and you can see that I played a lot of serve and volley all the time, even if people remember me playing more from the backcourt. I think if you don't have the focus and to be concentrated and to go out and work hard, continue to work hard and set up new goals all the time. If you don't do that, it's very difficult to be on the high level and to continue to win the Grand Slam tournaments. I think 81 was my last year. I just lost my motivation for tennis. I did not enjoy to go out and practice usually I practice 4 or 5 hours every day. I could not do that. When I played tournaments, I not really enjoyed to go out and play matches. I mean, even if I was with my head and my body was out there playing, but mentally it was very difficult. It was not fun, and then the worst thing came that I didn't care if I was winning or losing, and that's not me. I mean, that's my strongest part of my game, or part what I was doing for tennis was like I hated to lose. It doesn't matter who I was playing. I was playing a small tournament, medium tournament, or big tournaments. I always gave 100 and I wanted to win. And during that time, I didn't do that. And then I felt like this is time to do something else in life. Because I knew if I'm going to continue, it's just going to get worse and worse. So that's why I stepped away from the game. And I was very young. I was 25, 26 years old. And I knew I could have maybe another 5 years in top tennis. Maybe I could have won more tournaments. Maybe I could have had won more Grand Slams. Who knows? But I think taking that decision was a major, big decision to take. But right now, sitting here today, I don't have any regrets that I took that decision.